Each month, eerie howls echoed through the streets, striking fear in residents. Children whispered of a beast lurking in the woods, snatching those who dared venture near. One fateful night, Celestine followed the sounds deep into the forest. She stumbled upon a clearing and froze. Shadowed figures surrounded her, eyes gleaming in the moonlight. As they closed in, she saw their twisted hybrid forms. The townsfolk, cursed to transform into savage creatures under the moon's gaze. Sarah's scream pierced the night, but it was too late. Their inhuman snarls drowned her cries. At dawn, the townspeople awoke with no memory, except Sarah, who never returned. Her fate a chilling reminder of the terror that prowled their midst. The old house stood silent under the moon's pale gaze, its windows like dark eyes watching the world outside. Sarah alone heard faint whispers in the halls, a presence unseen but felt. Each night, the whispers grew closer, colder, sending shivers down her spine. One moonless night, a spectral figure materialized in her room, its hollow eyes fixed on her. Frozen in terror, Sarah felt a frigid breath on her neck before the figure vanished. The house remained empty, but Sarah knew she was never truly alone. In the old, creaking house at the end of Willow Street, whispers lingered in the shadows. Mary, the new tenant, dismissed them as her imagination. One moonless night, the whispers grew louder, calling her name. Terrified, Mary followed the voice to the basement. Sarah felt the frigid breath on her neck. With trembling hands, she turned the rusted knob, unleashing the house remained empty that engulfed her. The next morning, a new plaque appeared on the door, "Beware of the silence." From then on, the house remained eerily quiet, a silent sentinel of terror. In the quaint town of Willow Creek, a young woman named Lily moved into a charming old house. Every night, she heard soft whispers echoing through the halls. At first, she dismissed them as the house settling, but as days passed, the whispers grew clearer. They spoke of ancient secrets and forbidden knowledge. One moonlit night, Lily followed the whispers to the basement. There, she discovered a hidden room covered in cryptic symbols. In the center, an old mirror reflected a figure standing behind her. With dread, she turned around but found nothing there. As she gazed back at the mirror, her reflection smirked menacingly, whispering, "You'll never leave." Terrified, Lily tried to flee but found herself trapped in the mirror's grasp, joining the whispers in the night forevermore. The Henderson family moved into a quaint cottage nestled deep in the woods, seeking solace. On their first night, whispers echoed through the corridors, chilling their bones. Each family member brushed it off until the whispers grew louder, sinister. Sarah, the youngest, claimed a shadowy figure whispered threats by her bed. The parents dismissed it as nightmares until they found claw marks on her door. Panic consumed them. One night, the whispers synchronized, forming a symphony of dread. In a chilling revelation, they discovered a hidden room adorned with cryptic symbols. The whispers intensified, revealing a dark pact made on the land. As the moon bathed the room in an eerie glow, the family realized they were not alone. Desperate, they sought to break the curse. With trembling hands, they burned the symbols, releasing a howling wind that silenced the whispers. As dawn broke, the family left, the cottage now consumed by shadows. But as they drove away, a faint whisper lingered, a reminder of the darkness that awaited those who dared to listen. Deep within the dense forest, a lone hiker named Sarah found herself enveloped in an unsettling darkness. As night fell, whispers, soft and indistinct, began to echo around her. Ignoring them, she pressed on. Each step grew heavier as the voices multiplied, their words now clear but incomprehensible. Panic set in. Sarah quickened her pace, yet the whispers followed relentlessly. Abruptly, the forest opened into a small clearing bathed in an eerie glow. There, standing under a gnarled tree, was a spectral figure mouthing silent words. Frozen with fear, Sarah watched as the ghostly entity raised a finger, pointing past her. Turning, she saw a gravestone, her name engraved on it. The whispers turned into chilling laughter, and the figure vanished. With trembling hands, Sarah fled, the forest's shadows seeming to reach out for her. Abruptly, the forest opened into a small clearing. Her lifeless body was discovered in the clearing. There, next to the standing under a gnarled tree, was a spectral figure. The whispers lingered, standing under a gnarled tree, supernatural spectral figure mouthing silent words. Amelia dared to explore the abandoned ruins as the ghostly entity raised a finger, pointing past her. As she stepped into the crumbling structure, whispers filled the air, unintelligible. The whispers turned into chilling laughter. Ignoring the voices, figure vanished. She pressed on. With trembling hands, Sarah fled. Shadows danced along the walls, seeming to reach out, moving independently. Abruptly, the forest opened. The following morning, the heart of the lifeless body was a chamber awaited. There, next to standing under a gnarled tree, was a spectral figure. A sudden chill gripped Amelia as she realized the whispers formed words, foretelling doom. Panic rising, she tried to flee, but the entrance had vanished. Trapped, she deciphered the cryptic message, speaking the incantation unwittingly. The ruins trembled as a sinister presence awakened. From the shadows emerged a figure, cloaked in darkness. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. Amelia's screams echoed through the ruins as the curse claimed her. The figure vanished, leaving behind only silence. The ruins stood undisturbed, bearing witness to another victim succumbing to the ancient evil within. The old museum buzzed with anticipation as the curator unveiled the latest edition, an intricately carved wooden box. Legend whispered of a curse surrounding the relic, but curiosity trumped fear. That night, a lone guard glimpsed eerie shadows dancing around the artifact. With trembling hands, he touched the box, unleashing a malevolent force. The following morning, the museum stood empty, devoid of life. The only remnants, the open box, and a single inscription, "Beware what lies within." As the mist rolled in, shrouding the old cabin, Sam felt a chill crawl down his spine. Alone in the wilderness, he heard faint whispers on the wind. Ignoring them, he stoked the fire, trying to shake off the unease. But the whispers grew louder, weaving around him like ghostly tendrils. Shadows danced in the corners, and a figure emerged from the mist, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. Frozen in terror, Sam realized the whispers were calling his name. With a sudden, bone-chilling realization, he understood. The mist was a veil between the living and the dead, and he was not alone. In an old mansion, Sarah stumbled upon a locked room. Ignoring warnings, she found a key and entered. Inside, shadows danced eerily. Faint whispers filled the air, growing louder with each step. Panic rose as the door slammed shut. Trapped, she heard a voice promising freedom for a price. Sarah shivered, realizing the room fed on fear. Desperation clawed at her as she sought an escape. The voice chuckled malevolently, "Only one can leave, the other shall remain." The room hungered for a soul, and Sarah knew time was running out. As the old grandfather clock chimed midnight, Lily found herself inexplicably drawn to an antique mirror in the attic. Seeing her reflection, she noticed a subtle distortion, a figure standing behind her, barely visible. Panic gripped her, but when she turned, no one was there. Every glance at the mirror revealed the shadowy presence drawing closer. Terrified, Lily covered the mirror, seeking refuge in her bed. Yet, in the dead of night, whispers echoed, "Let me out." Trembling, she removed the covering, only to see the figure, now part of her reflection, reaching out. In a heart-stopping moment, cold fingers brushed her hand. With a scream, Lily shattered the mirror. The room fell silent. But as she stared at the broken glass, her reflection smiled, free from the mirror's confines, while Lily felt a chilling emptiness where her reflection should have been, trapped in a world beyond the glass. In the attic of an old, creaky mansion, a dusty mirror stood forgotten. Its ornate frame held intricate carvings that seemed to shift in the dim light. Intrigued, Sarah, the new caretaker, approached. As she peered into the glass, faint whispers filled the air, chilling her to the core. Ignoring the unease, she asked, "Who's there?" The whispers grew louder, forming sinister words. Suddenly, the mirror rippled, distorting her reflection to show a shadowy figure behind her. With a gasp, Sarah spun around, but the attic was empty. Trembling, she turned back to the mirror, only to see her reflection smirking back, its eyes glowing with malevolence. Frozen in terror, Sarah felt a cold hand on her shoulder, icy fingers tightening their grip. The mirror's whispers turned into maniacal laughter as Sarah's reflection reached out, pulling her into the glass. The attic fell silent, the mirror now holding two smirking faces, a chilling reminder of those who dare to look too closely. Emily moved into an old house to start anew. One night, she heard faint whispers coming from the attic. Curiosity gripped her, urging her to investigate. As she climbed the creaky stairs, the voices grew clearer, whispering her name with an eerie familiarity. In the dim attic, she found an antique mirror covered in a veil of dust. Her reflection morphed, eyes darkening, a sinister smile forming. Terrified, she tried to flee, but the door slammed shut. The whispers turned menacing as Emily realized the chilling truth. The mirror held trapped souls, craving a new host. The reflection reached out, pulling her in with a bone-chilling laugh. Deep in the heart of the forsaken asylum, a darkness lingered, shrouded in the whispers of tormented souls. Sarah, a daring urban explorer, ventured into the decaying corridors, her footsteps echoing eerily. As she delved deeper, the shadows seemed to dance, concealing unseen horrors. Suddenly, a faint whisper beckoned her towards a locked door. Ignoring her instincts, she pried it open, revealing a room draped in darkness. A flickering light revealed cryptic symbols etched on the walls, resonating with an ancient evil. A chilling wind enveloped Sarah, chilling her to the core, as ghostly figures materialized around her. Panic rising, she tried to flee, but the door slammed shut, trapping her within. The whispers grew louder, filling her mind with dread. Desperate, Sarah closed her eyes, hoping it was a nightmare. When she opened them, she found herself alone in the silence of the asylum, the whispers fading into the void. But as she turned to leave, a cold hand gripped her shoulder. A haunting voice whispered, "You're never truly alone here." Deep in the heart of the dense forest stood the forgotten cabin, its windows shattered and the door hanging precariously on one hinge. Curiosity getting the better of him, Mark ventured inside, the stale air hitting his nostrils. Shadows danced eerily on the walls as he explored each decaying room. Suddenly, a soft whisper echoed, "Leave now." Ignoring it, he continued until he found an old photograph of a family, their eyes scratched out. A chill ran down his spine. Racing to the exit, a figure blocked his path, a ghostly apparition with hollow eyes. "Why did you disturb us?" it moaned. Frozen in fear, Mark realized too late the cabin's sinister secret, the family's restless spirits seeking revenge for their untimely deaths. The old house sat silent, its windows like vacant eyes in the moonlight. Sarah heard whispers at night, soft words carried by the wind. Ignoring them until one icy evening, the whispers turned urgent, desperate. In the dim glow, she saw a figure in the hallway, a silhouette of sorrow. With trembling steps, she followed it to an attic door, left ajar. Inside, a mirror reflected her pale face, but beside her stood a spectral being, mirroring her every move. The figure whispered, "Join me." Sarah's horror peaked as she realized she was staring at her own reflection, yet the mirror showed her lifeless eyes and a beckoning hand. In a panic, she stumbled backward, crashing the mirror. Silence engulfed her, as the shattered glass revealed nothing but her own terrified reflection. In a dusty antique shop, a mysterious shadow seemed to follow whoever possessed a peculiar mirror. Claire, an unsuspecting buyer, brought it home. That night, whispers echoed in the dark, and the shadow materialized, engulfing her room. Terrified, she smashed the mirror, hoping to end the nightmare. Yet the shadow grew darker, forming an eerie figure. As it reached out, Claire's reflection twisted into a haunting grin, trapping her in a sinister mirror world forever. Alone in her creaky old house, Emma sensed a presence lurking in the shadows. Each night, the darkness seemed to thicken, suffocating her with dread. Whispers echoed in the corridors, chilling her to the core. One stormy night, a figure materialized from the shadows, a twisted, contorted silhouette. Frozen in terror, Emma watched as it crept closer, its hollow eyes fixed on her. With a sudden gust of wind, the shadows enveloped her, consuming her entirely. The next morning, neighbors found the house empty, with no trace of Emma. Only a faint whisper in the wind carried her name, a haunting reminder of the sinister shadows that devoured her soul. In the quiet town of Willow Creek, an antique mirror appeared overnight in the town square. Its ornate frame drew in curious onlookers. As the sun set, strange reflections danced within its glass, shadows of figures long gone. Emily, a local historian, felt drawn to its eerie allure. She reached out, fingertips grazing cold glass. The mirror rippled like water, revealing a distorted version of the town. Panic set in as Emily saw a shadowy figure beckoning her from the other side. With a gasp, she stumbled back, but her reflection remained, trapped within the mirror's depths. The townsfolk awoke to find the mirror gone, with only Emily's reflection eternally trapped, a warning to those who dared peer into the forgotten mirror. As the mist rolled into the town, whispers began to echo through the cobblestone streets. Residents dismissed them as the wind's play, until one by one, they vanished without a trace. Only Sarah, the newcomer, paid heed to the chilling voices. Following them to the old chapel, she uncovered an ancient ritual site where townsfolk sealed a dark pact. The mist cloaked restless spirits desperate for release. Sarah, their unwitting savior, faced a choice: break the curse or join the whispers forever. In a moment of bravery, she shattered the cursed amulet, unleashing a blinding light that banished the fog and freed the trapped souls. As the town awoke from its nightmare, Sarah found herself standing alone, a faint whisper thanking her before dispersing into the morning air.
In the heart of Whispering Pines, a town cloaked in eerie silence, residents whispered of secrets veiled by towering pines. Sarah, a newcomer, sensed the town's unease. Each night the woods echoed with haunting melodies, drawing her in. Curiosity led her to an ancient tree where shadows danced ominously. As she uncovered the town's dark past, Sarah realized the pines held more than whispered secrets. They harbored a malevolent force, a presence that hungered for the unwary, waiting to ensnare those who dared to uncover the truth.
As the full moon cast an eerie glow, Alex found himself in the town square facing the ancient statue locals whispered about. Legends warned of its curse. Whoever heard it speak would meet a grim fate. Ignoring the tales, Alex leaned closer, straining to catch any sound. Suddenly, a faint whisper filled the air, chilling his bones. "Beware the night," it hissed. Heart-pounding, Alex stumbled back, but the voice followed. Panic set in as the whispers grew louder, urging him towards the shadows. In a desperate sprint, Alex fled the square, the voice fading as dawn approached. Yet each night, the whispers returned, a haunting reminder of the statue's dark power. As night fell, a town was shrouded in silence. Sarah, a photographer, followed a mysterious shadow into an alley. A figure emerged, a man cloaked in shadows. "Beware the eternal darkness," he hissed before vanishing. Sarah discovered shadowy figures in her photos, their eyes filled with malice. Seeking help from a psychic, she learned the figures were lost souls seeking revenge. Armed with a camera, she ventured into the realm of eternal shadows. As the spirits closed in, she captured their essence, setting them free. But as the last shadow dissipated, the man from the alley appeared, thanking her before fading into the night. Sarah returned home, forever changed by her encounter with the eternal shadows, knowing some secrets were best left undisturbed. In the town of Willow Creek, a dense fog descended, cloaking everything in a mysterious haze. Mia, a curious photographer, ventured out to capture the scene. As she snapped pictures, faint whispers echoed around her. Dismissing them as her imagination, Mia continued until the whispers grew louder, forming sinister words. Panic rising, she hurried back, but the fog thickened, swallowing her surroundings. Lost and disoriented, Mia stumbled upon an old cabin, its door creaking open invitingly. Inside, shadows danced menacingly, and the whispers coalesced into a chilling chant. Realization struck. The fog was a gateway to a realm of trapped souls. As Mia tried to flee, icy fingers grabbed her, pulling her into the mist. The fog dissipated, leaving the town in an eerie silence. Days later, a new photographer arrived, drawn by the legends of Willow Creek. Among Mia's abandoned photos, one stood out, a haunting image of a mist-shrouded cabin with a faint figure beckoning from within. As Emma entered the antique shop, a peculiar mirror caught her eye. The owner warned, "Be cautious, it shows truths unseen." Skeptical, Emma purchased it. That night, she glimpsed a shadow behind her in the mirror. Each day, the figure drew closer. Emma's reflection began aging rapidly while she stayed young. Desperate, she tried to shatter the mirror but found no reflection in it. The shadow materialized, whispering, "I am your true self." Emma's body withered, consumed by the entity from the mirror, leaving a reflection that was no longer hers. At Willow Lake, locals whispered of a curse veiled in mist. On moonless nights, a mystic glow beckoned from the center. Curiosity lured 5 friends to its banks, where ancient trees whispered warnings. Ignoring the omens, they enacted a forbidden ritual, seeking power. As the waters stirred, shadows danced, and a spectral figure emerged. Panic ensued as each felt the curse's icy grip. Desperation set in, but breaking free proved futile. One by one, they vanished into the depths. At dawn, only ripples remained, a haunting reminder of the lake's dark secret. In a secluded village shrouded in mist, whispers echoed through the dense forest at night. Residents spoke of shadows lurking among the forgotten ruins, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. One by one, villagers vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a sense of dread. Emily, a curious wanderer, dared to venture into the heart of the darkness. As she approached the ancient well at midnight, a figure emerged from the depths, a ghostly silhouette with a haunting smile. Frozen with fear, Emily realized the chilling truth. The shadows were the lost souls of those who had succumbed to the village's curse. Their plea for release echoed in her mind as icy fingers brushed her skin. With a sudden jolt, she woke up in her bed, drenched in sweat. The next morning, Emily discovered an old diary hidden in the attic, detailing the tragic history of the village and the ritual needed to break the curse. As she followed the instructions, the shadows dissipated into the morning light, and peace returned to the once forgotten village. But every full moon, a faint whisper still carried through the breeze, a reminder of the darkness that lay hidden beneath the surface. In the quiet town of Mistwood, an old mansion stood abandoned, shrouded in mystery. Emma, a curious photographer, decided to explore it for her latest project. As she entered, a cold draft made her shiver. The walls whispered ancient secrets, and shadows danced in the dim light. Emma's camera captured strange orbs and ghostly figures. Pressing on, she discovered a locked room. Inside, an eerie portrait of a woman resembled her uncannily. Suddenly, the floorboards creaked, trapping Emma in a chilling realization. She was the long-lost descendant of the mansion's cursed former owner. The spirit sought retribution for past sins, binding her to the mansion forever. As Emma's scream echoed through Mistwood, the mansion embraced another lost soul, perpetuating its dark legacy. In a secluded village, a crimson moon rose once every century, casting an ominous glow. Locals dreaded its return, for with it came unspeakable horrors. On such nights, whispers echoed through the cobblestone streets, foretelling doom. As the moon reached its zenith, a blood-red fog enveloped the village, blurring the line between the living and the dead. Shadows danced with malevolent glee, and the air grew icy. Those who dared venture out vanished, leaving only a chilling echo. One villager, Lila, braved the moonlit night, seeking answers. She found an ancient tome in the deserted church crypt, detailing a dark pact made under the crimson moon centuries ago. The village had offered a sacrifice to a malevolent entity, sealing their fate. Lila realized the entity hungered for more souls to claim. Racing against time, she sought to break the curse. As the moon waned, Lila confronted the entity in a final, desperate stand. Her sacrifice shattered the curse, but the village lay in eerie silence, haunted by the memory of that fateful night. Beware the crimson moon's return, for the shadows still whisper of its malevolent presence. In an old, decrepit house, Lily found a dusty doll in the attic. Its eyes, once bright blue, now glistened with an eerie glow. Ignoring the unease, she placed it in her room. That night, whispers filled the air, "I want to play." Creaking footsteps approached her bed. Frozen in fear, Lily saw the doll's eyes burning with malice. Its tiny arms extended, wrapping around her neck. Gasping for air, she managed to break free, throwing the doll out the window. As it shattered on the ground, a shrill laugh echoed. The next morning, Lily found a note by her pillow, "You can't get rid of me that easily." Trembling, she realized the doll had vanished, but scratches on her neck remained. The house fell silent, but Lily could sense its malevolent presence. From that day on, the doll's chilling laughter haunted her dreams, a reminder of a darkness she could not escape. As twilight painted the sky in deep hues, Anna strolled through the dense forest, seeking solitude. A whisper, soft yet distinct, startled her. Ignoring it, she quickened her pace. The whispers persisted, growing louder with each step. Panic gripped her as she realized the trees were alive with voices. Racing back, branches snaked around her, trapping her. In the clearing, she saw shadowy figures converging. The whispers turned to menacing laughter. The forest hungered for another lost soul. In a dusty antique shop, Mia discovered an old portrait hidden behind a tattered curtain. The painting depicted a mysterious figure with eyes that seemed to follow her every move. Ignoring the unease creeping up her spine, Mia purchased the portrait and hung it in her bedroom. That night, she awoke to faint whispers in the darkness, coming from the painting. As she approached, the figure's expression twisted into a malicious grin. Terrified, Mia tried to remove the portrait but found it inexplicably stuck to the wall. With a sudden gust of wind, the room plunged into icy silence. The figure stepped out of the painting, its cold hand reaching for Mia's trembling form. The next morning, all that remained was a blank canvas, except for a chilling message etched faintly in the corner, "You've been chosen." As Emily gazed into the antique mirror, her reflection began to distort, contorting into a sinister grin. Panic gripped her as the room darkened around her, shadows creeping closer. She tried to look away, but an unseen force held her gaze. Suddenly, her reflection reached out, fingertips pressing against the glass. A whispered voice echoed, "Join me." With a shudder, Emily felt a cold hand grasp hers from within the mirror, pulling her closer. In an instant, she was yanked through, disappearing into the dark realm beyond. In an old apartment building, Sarah noticed strange occurrences. Each night, faint footsteps echoed from above her unit, but the top floor was vacant. Increasingly unnerved, she investigated the attic, locked for decades. Inside, she found a dusty, ornate mirror reflecting an empty room. As Sarah turned to leave, her reflection remained, smiling wickedly. Horror-struck, she stumbled back, only to realize her body trapped in the mirror's depth. The reflection mimicked her every move, eyes gleaming with malice. The building's history revealed a previous tenant, driven mad by their own reflection. Now Sarah was bound to the mirror, condemned to live unseen as the new unseen tenant. As Emma rummaged through her late grandmother's attic, she stumbled upon a dusty old music box. Intricate carvings adorned its surface.